Authorities are working to identify the next of kin after a skeleton is discovered near Gateway. The Mesa County Sheriff's Office says the skeleton could be the answer to a missing persons case. It involves a Mesa County man who went missing more than 20 years ago. Authorities say a hiker discovered the remains Thursday near the John Brown Canyon Road off of Highway 141. It was partially inside of a car at the bottom of a canyon. Foul play was never suspected in the man's disappearance.
So, I am here in Gateway. Just found the entrance and parking spot for John Brown Canyon, and where Grandpa committed suicide and was found in 2013. Committed suicide in 86, 87, and was found in 2013. It's really a beautiful valley.
This footage represents the first day of filming on Finding Ronald. It was captured 6 years ago in 2017. I wasn't even sure I was in the right canyon because the GPS had looped me around, and I hadn't seen the police report yet. I hadn't examined Google Earth of the area yet. I hadn't flown the drone out here yet. But if this is the canyon where Grandpa ended his life, I wanted to get eyes on it to get a feel for the task that was ahead of me. And I'm glad I did.
Alright, I found a spot. All the way up here there was a creek along the road, which looks a lot like the photograph from the paper where they found Grandpa's station wagon. But none of it was high enough to actually drive off of anything. And then I got up here, and there's a couple spots that actually look like somebody could have driven up. Now granted, this was almost 30 years ago, so I'm not suggesting these are the tire tracks or anything, but sure looks like this spot could have been the spot.
Watching this footage today, I have a ball in my stomach because Grandpa was right down there and I couldn't see him and I didn't know it. I had found him on the first day.
It's beautiful up here, Grandpa. I can understand wanting to be surrounded by this beauty eternally. But I gotta say, Grandpa, you left us behind. No, I know you were in a lot of pain. I know you had lung cancer. There's another spot down there. It looks like kind of a drive off. It's hard to know.
I suppose in my heart I knew that I had found the spot, but I figured due diligence was necessary, so I pulled up Google Earth and verified what I observed on my drive in, which is that the road that you take to get there is far too low of an elevation until you get to the switchback. There's, until then, there's nowhere to commit suicide. There are a couple spots up higher on the canyon, but that particular wash really drew my attention. Although it turned out to be incorrect, it looked like the most plausible, and he turned out to be there. But this data here was important, and I decided to go explore based on what I learned here.
Okay, we're here now. I'm here now at the switchback, where the road does the switchback, which is where Grandpa's crash site appeared to be indicated on multiple maps. And based on my survey of the 3D lay of this terrain, up there, this road switches back. It goes up and then switches around a couple times, and then it goes up along there and it heads back that way, but it gets close to that cliff. That's the last point where it gets close to a cliff high enough to do any damage. So my theory, since that's the cliff that we identified on all the satellite maps, my theory is that Grandpa and his car were down there. And so that's what we're here to find out.
As I was gathering my gear to hike down into that gully and search for Grandpa's car, this massive grading machine comes basically sliding down the hill, it looks like. And he didn't look real happy that I was parked here, so I waited for him and had a quick conversation with him. And like the kind fella he is, he made my journey a bit longer.
Is this okay?
What's that? Yeah, so I can't be here. I wasn't sure. How far down can I park? Okay. Okay, all right. Thanks.
I had to hike up the hill once again after parking almost a mile back down. So, thanks to that excavator guy, got my exercise in.
Let's try to get down here without dying. This is all real loose. I wonder if any of this is walkable. Maybe down that side. Well, no, he would have come off a cliff up there and down here, so it's possible he impacted up along there, but more than likely he's down in here, so that's where we're going. Yeah, I just discovered this shit out here is really, really thorny, so we're gonna try to stay in the creek bed as long as we can. Something in my gut tells me that it's near the, like around this corner. Shit, I can't stay down here. Okay, hold on, that's where I want to get. There is the runoff that shows on the map, which is at the end of that road that we think he drove off of. So, I think he's right back there. Let's go find out. Well, honestly, in my mind, this is where I was gonna find him. We were told they weren't gonna remove the vehicle, so he absolutely should still be where they found him. We'll have to check this whole slope here with the drone.
It's worth noting that in my infinite wisdom, I failed to prepare the drone the night before, and so when I unfolded the rotors and turned it on, I found that it required a firmware update. So it took, because there's only one bar of reception in this canyon, it took 45 minutes to update the drone. Meanwhile, I was hearing noises in the brush, and my imagination had all manner of wildlife coming to kill me. Anyways, back to the search.
Alright, so we are on Highway 141, headed to my grandpa's crash site. I know where it is. Haven't put eyes on it yet, but I do have GPS coordinates from Mesa County Sheriff's Office. A Deputy King recorded GPS coordinates in his report. I had not seen the full case file until a few days ago. My mom went and got it from the Sheriff's Office. When they found my grandpa's body in 2013, nobody really reached out to us. I had to reach out to them, and that's in the report. I might show you that. But I had to reach out to them to tell them I think that the body that was just reported found might be my grandpa, and so on and so forth. But even after they recovered him, they didn't bring any of his belongings to us, or my mom was given the choice of paying for a funeral, even though he was a veteran. She was given the choice of paying for a funeral or donating his bones to science. So I was able to determine that the crash site looks to be at the switchback that I originally identified on my first trip out there as my primary area of interest. It is the first place on John Brown Canyon Road that gives you enough altitude and access to the cliff to do something like attempt suicide, by driving off. So anyways, long story short, it turns out his car should be right around where I was looking, although it's on a different slope than I was checking. So I'm going back out with the drone today, and I'm going to capture it. I'm going to finally get his wreck, his crash site, his final resting place on tape, on video. Now, interesting fact, the other day just a few days ago, I was up here on my own with the drone, and I got up to the top of the canyon there, John Brown Canyon, and had an interesting encounter with a bear. Little full-grown black bear, I'm guessing, because it was black. I hear that young black bears are actually brown, but it was scrawny. Came running out of the brush, the oak brush, right in front of my car, maybe 15 yards in front of me. Didn't even look at me, just ran right by in 2 or 3 gates, and it was gone. But it just reminded me how quickly things could change up there, and there was a thunderstorm rolling in, so I wasn't able to get the best footage. Anyways, long story short, I located several wrecks that day, more than one. So apparently a lot of people have died up there, or a lot of cars have found the end of their road up there.
In spite of my incessant ramblings, I did eventually enter John Brown Canyon, and as I ascended towards the switchback, I noticed something in a ravine nearby.
Okay, I'm here in the canyon, John Brown Canyon, and I noticed, I was checking the map before I came up today, and I noticed that as you approach the switchback, which is just a little further up there, which is the place that I identified on Google Maps, and then after coming out here, that was my primary area of interest, although I was focused on the slope down the backside. But the switchback was the first place the road gave you enough elevation to even attempt something like this, right? So I noticed as I was checking the map today that when you're driving up, right before you get to the switchback, let's see if I can show you. When you're driving up, right before you get to the switchback, you can see up the channel. The channel where he drove off on the top. And I figured that once you're down here on the ground, you might be able to see something. And sure enough, I'm starting to shake. This is the first time I've seen it since it happened. And now, anyways, here. I noticed up there a glint in the sun as I was driving by. And I'm pretty sure the switchback is just around the corner there, which means this will be the right channel. And there is absolutely something man-made up there. Alright, so I was hoping it'd be visible. Maybe it's visible there. Anyways, now that I think I have the site pinned down exactly, we're going to get the drone up and have a closer look. This is the spot where he would have gone over the edge. Beautiful view out there, huh? Grand Junction's out there. His family, all of his troubles. Okay, this is a second test of the lavalier mic. It was very loud the first time. Let's see now. Right. Might as well get started. I'm way behind on this project. Working it myself, so you know, I'm the cameraman, the writer, the researcher, the editor, the producer. So it's slow going, but I'm also not the world's best organizer, and apparently I really dropped the ball here because I'm behind schedule. Part of the problem is that I had to wait for FAA authorization because there is a helipad near John Brown Canyon where my grandfather was found. And so I have been waiting for FAA authorization on another at another airport
as a test because I wanted to get it right for this movie. Anyways, long story short, I have now flown in John Brown Canyon and I have found Grandpa's car. And that was an important day. That was a big day. Thing is, there was a lot of pre-find, like pre-phase, preparatory stuff that went into getting where I am now. Okay, knowing where his crash site is, having footage on file, having names of people, you know, the name of the deputy that recovered his remains, the name of the hiker that found his remains. This is information I didn't have when I started. But this is information that I should have filmed myself gathering, right? I mean, to fit this documentary, I should have had a cameraman following me around and watching me research and watching me pore over the Google Maps and the 3D maps and trying to determine where on John Brown Canyon Road there's even enough altitude to drive a car off and know that you'll die. I mean, why would you drive a car off if you might just break a limb and be stuck there, starve to death and get eaten by animals? You know, it can get pretty gruesome. It's wilderness where Grandpa was found. Got a lot to do and I'm behind, and I felt like if I get something on record, if I get myself in front of a camera and just start talking about the project, maybe it will give me the impetus I need, the build up some momentum so that I can actually get this thing moving and get it made. Because Grandpa's story is important and it needs to be told, and I need the closure. So I need to get this done.
Okay, we are leaving the Gateway General Store at this time, en route to John Brown Canyon, which is very nearby. We are here in John Brown Canyon. We just passed the spot on the road where you can first see Grandpa's bumper in the sun, but we had to find a wider spot to park, so we're going to hike back down and see if we can see it on foot. It might be easier to see because our eyes are a little higher standing than they are sitting, and he's up really high. He's in this gully here.
Oh, and now I see those two trees.
Yeah, the two trees that kind of form an angle. His bumper is sticking out of the ground right between those trees, and you'll see it glinting as you come back here. Now I noticed that gully was visible from the road by checking Google Maps.
I see it.
You see it?
Yep, right here I see it.
Yes, from the road. Isn't that mind-blowing that he was visible from the road all those years? 20-some years. And right behind us, up in there, is Grandpa Ronald Vasey's final resting spot. Oops.
I never really wanted to come here, but I'm glad I'm here now.
We're here together. First time she has not been before, so this is a big day.
I wish my sister could be here too, just to say goodbye.
Well, how about we drive up to the top of the switchback and see it from his perspective.
Let's do it.
The place I thought was most likely was the top of here, because there you can drive off this way and fall down, and it's much steeper cliff.
Whoa.
And when you look down here, you don't have to come all the way over here. I'm gonna just get it on camera. This is where I hiked down. This is the gully where I thought sure I would find him. So I hiked all the way down there, and you can't really see where he would have landed because there's a bend. So I hiked all the way around that bend.
You did?
Yeah, and I brought the drone down there, and that was the day that I turned the drone on to find out I had a software update. So I was down there with one bar, waiting for 45 minutes for that drone to update, hearing things in the brush, thinking I'm gonna get eaten by a bear. But he wasn't down there.
Wow. But
Yep.
there's a road that he could have been on?
Yes, because this switchback here, see where we're going?
Sick. Yeah.
So we're gonna drive around here, and then it switches back again on top and comes back around and cuts like, it goes deep, deep, deep over the top of the mountain, and that's where I saw that bear. But before it goes deep, 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 there's a little service road that drives straight from the main road to this cliff. And so So it's not very well maintained, but you can see it on satellite photos. It seemed like a great spot for him to get some speed and drive off. But it turns out we're gonna drive up this switchback. Yeah, and at the very first bend is where he went off. And we'll see it once we're there, but.
So Dad is thinking, I can't take the pain anymore. It's time to end it. I just wish he could have ended it with family around him.
Right, absolutely.
But now we can in Colorado, can't we? We have that. Okay, what?
I think so. Right, keep going. This is the area right in this. Oh no, up there, I'm sorry.
Ay, ay, ay. Ugh. Not good, not good.
Okay, this turn is where he went over. So that wide spot right there is when we turn around up top and come back, we're gonna park right there.
Okay.
But literally that gap, like right in this area is where he went over. That's where I thought he would have gone off. There's a cliff right there.
Oh.
Like right there that drops down into that gully I just showed you at the bottom.
Yeah.
Or try to pull as close to the berm as you can because we want to be able to access this opening. So pull there.
Oh, my car, I hope my tires live through this.
My tires have survived it, so you should be. Okay, we are go for launch. Start recording. Bring it around. So
Making this film has been one hell of a journey. And while I can't say that I have solved the mystery of Grandpa's disappearance and his death, I can say that I have found closure for myself and for my mom. And that's probably the most important thing that I have taken away from this experience. I want to thank you all for joining me on this journey. It's been a very personal one for me, but hopefully an educational one for you.
That Dad drove down this road, went to the top, gained speed, and then came down here. And maybe went off the road right at this point. Who knows, Dad? Sorry you had to go it alone. Could this be the direction you made your final goodbyes, Dad?
On my very, very last trip up here, when this is all said and done, I'm gonna pour some brass, a brass headstone or marker, and I will hike down there and place it at the crash site, but at that time. But right now I'm not gonna hike down there. When I do that. what to think. This is my second pour. And 2 of my grass pieces didn't melt for some reason. But last time there was too much grass. The, what do you call it? The riser, not the, anyways, the vent at the back end of the gating system didn't express any metal, so I'm not sure if the mold filled all the way up or not. We'll see soon when it cools. Okay, so that was all the extra on the first pour. So I may be fine, but as you can see, a couple of my source pieces didn't melt. I'm not sure exactly why. The rubber bands did work to hold it together last time the mold pushed apart. And I think that the vent helped quite a bit with that right here. Did get some smoke out of there, but I was expecting a little bit of metal too, and I didn't see any metal come out, so we'll see. We'll see how it looks when it cools. Same hands to boards last time. This time the gating worked well though. Seems the gating worked. I think it just ran out of metal. Alright, back in John Brown Canyon, I have a brass plaque to put either on Grandpa's car or on a location nearby, because based on my initial assessments here, it's going to be very difficult to get down there, harder than I thought. Push comes to shove, this is where Grandpa drove off. In worst case scenario, I will put the plaque on this tree here. Trying to hike down to Grandpa's car down there somewhere, but this, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it's slick. It would, if I tried to climb down that, I wouldn't get back up. There's no way I'd have anything to hold on to.
Admittedly, I was more than a little bit flustered at not being able to place this plaque on Grandpa's vehicle. My work was a little bit sloppy as a result. I did clean it up before leaving, and I'll be back to make sure that everything is nice and clean and crisp. But it had to be done.